Riya Verma lived in a quiet neighborhood where she shared an apartment with her best friend, Neha. The two had been inseparable since college, and their friendship had grown stronger over the years. Neha was calm and composed, while Riya was lively and adventurous. Together, they were the perfect pair. One evening, as Riya was heading back home from work, she received a call from Neha. Hey, I'm going to be late tonight, Neha said casually. Don't wait up for me, okay? Sure, don't worry about it, Riya replied, though she felt a pang of unease. Neha had been coming home late a lot recently. Shrugging off the thought, Riya reached home and decided to relax. But just as she settled on the couch, a strange feeling took over her. What was Neha up to? Neha had never kept secrets from her before. Curiosity began to gnaw at Riya. She remembered Neha had left her laptop behind. Maybe she could find something that would explain her odd behavior. Hesitant at first, Riya finally gave in. She opened Neha's laptop. To her surprise, the device wasn't password protected. As Raya scrolled through the files, one folder caught her eye, labeled Confidential. Her heartbeat quickened. Without thinking twice, she clicked it open. What she saw made her heart stop. The folder was filled with images of Neha with a man Riya had never seen before. There were messages, notes, and even documents about bank transfers to an unknown account. Riya felt like the ground was slipping from beneath her feet. Who was this man? And why was Neha sending him money? The questions raced through Riya's mind, but before she could think further, she heard the sound of keys jingling at the door. Neha was home! Quickly, Riya shut the laptop and pretended to be engrossed in a magazine. Hey, you're still awake? Neha asked as she entered, her tone as normal as ever. Yeah, couldn't sleep, Riya replied, forcing a smile. Neha looked tired, but her usual calm demeanor gave nothing away. Riya's mind, however, was swirling with doubts. Who was Neha really? Was she hiding something dangerous? The next day, Raya couldn't concentrate at work. She kept replaying the images and the documents in her head. She had to get to the bottom of this. After work, she decided to follow Neha. That evening, Neha left the apartment at her usual time. Riya trailed behind, keeping a safe distance. Neha walked through unfamiliar streets until she stopped at an old, rundown building. Riya watched as Neha entered the building and waited for several minutes before following her inside. The dimly lit hallway led to a room where she could hear muffled voices. Slowly, Riya moved closer to the door. She pressed her ear against the wood and recognized Neha's voice. I've done everything you asked, Neha said, her voice trembling slightly. A man's voice responded, low and menacing. It's not enough, Neha. We need more. You know what's at stake. Riya's heart raced. She couldn't hear the rest of the conversation, but something was terribly wrong. She backed away from the door, her breath quickening. Just as she was about to leave, her phone rang loudly in her pocket. Panic surged through her. Neha burst out of the room, locking eyes with Riya. What are you doing here? Neha's voice was filled with shock and anger. Riya, caught off guard, stammered. I was just worried about you. I had to find out what was going on. Neha's face hardened, and before Riya could react, the man from inside the room stepped out. He was tall, with a scar running down his cheek. So, this is your friend, the man sneered. She knows too much now? Riya felt a chill run down her spine. What had she gotten herself into? Neha grabbed Riya's arm and pulled her outside. You shouldn't have followed me, she hissed. Who is that man? What's going on, Neha? Riya demanded, her fear mixing with anger. Neha looked torn, but she finally spoke. I didn't want to drag you into this. That man, Rajat, is dangerous. I owe him a lot of money. He's been blackmailing me for months. Riya's head spun. But why didn't you tell me? We could have found our way together. I was ashamed, Neha said quietly. I didn't want you to know how deep I was in this mess. Riya's mind raced. She had to get Neha out of this. We'll go to the police. They can help. Neha shook her head, her eyes filled with fear. No, Rajat has connections. If we involve the police, things will get worse. But Riya wasn't convinced. She couldn't let her friend live in fear. Neha, we have to stand up to him. This will never end if you keep giving in. That night, Riya devised a plan. With Neha reluctantly agreeing, they decided to gather evidence against Rajat and his illegal dealings. Riya knew it was risky, but they had no other choice. Over the next few days, they secretly recorded conversations and collected documents. One evening, while Rajat was meeting Neha for another payment, Riya was hiding in the shadows, recording everything. As the transaction was about to happen, Riya stepped out and confronted Rajat. "Stop this," she shouted. "We have all the evidence against you. It's over." Rajat sneered. "You think you can threaten me?" But before things could escalate, the sound of police sirens filled the air. Riya had already informed the authorities, and they arrived just in time to arrest Rajat. Neha, though shaken, felt a wave of relief wash over her. As the days passed, life returned to normal for Riya and Neha. Their bond grew stronger, and the ordeal had taught them both valuable lessons. Neha realized the importance of trust, while Riya learned that facing problems head-on was the only way to overcome them. In life, secrets can destroy even the strongest relationships. It is always better to share your burdens with the ones who care for you. When we face our challenges together, we can overcome even the darkest obstacles. Trust, honesty, and courage are the pillars that keep us strong, no matter how tough the situation.